Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it. That's according to Israel's former space security chief. The aliens have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are.
Hi, Alison. Well, this is quite a story, and President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria.
There are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify? Oh. You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one.
If I was president, I would run to the White House. I'd demand to see all the classified files on the UFOs. Because I want to know. I'd want to know what has been going on. Did you do that?
Sort of. What do we know? We know now we live in an ever-expanding universe. We know that there are billions of stars and planets literally out there, and the universe is getting bigger. We know from our fancy telescopes that just in the last 2 years, more than 20 planets have been identified outside our solar system that seem to be far enough away from their suns and dense enough that they might be able to support some form of life.
President Clinton on this show, he said, I asked him about UFOs in Area 51 and if he looked in, because if I was president, that's the first thing I do. I go right into those files and see what was going on.
Right.
And he said that he did do that.
Yes.
And that he didn't find anything.
But I would like us to go into those files and hopefully make as much of that public as possible. If there's nothing there, let's tell people there's nothing there.
What if there is something there?
Well, if there is something there, unless it's a threat to national security, I think we ought to share it with the public.
Think of how all the differences among people on Earth would seem small if we felt threatened by a space invader.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
If we were visited someday, I wouldn't be surprised.
So did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in and he did check and there was nothing.
Well, that's what we're instructed to say.
Did you go through the secret files, the UFO documents? Because if I was president...
but I'm not telling you.
Are there really great secrets that you know that you can't share with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
But it's very interesting.
UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Some sort of UFO observation of perhaps our space program and NASA, launches. Is that something that you're aware of as well?
Yeah. I would not be surprised if we are under surveillance by alien visitors.
If we were visited someday, I wouldn't be surprised.
If we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He's told me, he said, Lou, I want you to stop doing this. I said, okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why? And he says, well, we already know what it is. Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret sap, and they were telling me to stop. And I said, okay, sir, so it's ours? And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, he asked me point blank, have you read your Bible lately? And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this? And he said, well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them. Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon. This is a Department of Defense official saying, stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic?
Correct.
In 1974, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun, in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat.
That you were the person that Steven Spielberg modeled a character of a UFO researcher on in his classic movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That you don't seem to be jumping on the extraterrestrial visitors bandwagon.
That's what was the main point of disagreement with Steven Spielberg. Could it be manipulated purposely by people who have the technology to simulate UFO sightings? And people say, well, of course not. Who would do a thing like that? Well, I would remind you that during the Watergate investigation, it was discovered that there was a plan originated in the White House to surface a submarine off the coast of Cuba and paint the second coming of Christ over the island of Cuba using holograms, which is well within our technology today.
And we've seen the development of the New Age, and I wondered if back when you were involved in spirit worship, if they talked about New Age at all.
Oh yes, it was a big thing that was coming up. One of the major deceptions of the last days. The priest said that as the times on this planet gets more and more difficult, and calamities of all kinds are striking the planet more and more frequently, demon spirits are going to impress people with the importance of Sunday sacredness. He says the grain plain, the Master's grain plain, for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. This grain plain is going to take people are going to eat the stuff, because he says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies.
That there are billions of stars and planets literally out there.
He went on explaining about the fact that the spirits will show themselves willing to give valuable guidance that will not only help people avoid the destruction of the planet, but it would cause them to enter into a higher state of existence. For instance, he said the spirits will promise, and this is a big word, promise, that if their recommendations are followed carefully, they will usher in a glorious new age of peace and prosperity.
The Galactic Federation.
The Galactic Federation. In New Age theology, there is a group of so-called, quote, good aliens who call themselves the Galactic Federation of Light, or the Ashtar Command. They've been making contact with psychics and channelers for decades now, and their message is always the same. It's the same exact lie Lucifer told Eve in the Garden of Eden. It's their calling card, and they always resort back to this promise of, ye shall be as gods.
And all of it is a lie.
How on earth could there be one giant deception that would deceive everyone on the earth? The History Channel is propagating that these beings are from another world.
Could mainstream scientists be discovering the home worlds of extraterrestrial visitors? For ancient astronaut theorists, the answer is a resounding yes.
The big revelation will not be, do they look like us, but we look like them, because we are their offspring.
Many people involved in the New Age beliefs and practices have experiences with star people or star seeds, also known as indigo children.
They call them indigo children and say that some of these kids can even see the spirits of the dead.
It's the belief that certain people originated as extraterrestrials and arrived on Earth through birth or as a walk-in to an existing human body.
Star seeds are people, or souls more likely, that find it very difficult to be here on Earth because apparently Earth is not really their home.
Star seeds are highly evolved souls whose sole origin is from the stars. Star seeds are souls who originated in the Pleiades.
Star seeds are beings who have spent majority of their lives on different planets. The first sign that you are a star seed is that you've always felt like an alien.
Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to the month of July 2022. From what I've channeled, this should be hopefully a little bit of a break for everyone. This month is all about being human. It is really, truly focused on getting yourself grounded and centered. There are a lot of huge upgrades actually heading our way for the rest of the year. For everyone who purchases the Galactic Federation ticket, you automatically get a 22% off the Quantum Human. We've got an incredible workshop happening this Friday, and it's teaching you all about how to see auras, how to hop timelines, how to instantly manifest, cut cords, all of that great stuff. It's really about the quantum world and us as quantum hybrid beings. How can we utilize our quantum state? How can we utilize our hybrid DNA? This video is being sponsored by the Galactic Federation of Light, which is so badass to even say.
A new financial currency and infrastructure is developing in clear sight now. This system, originally devised from the minds and consciousness of masters and angels from many periods of time, will be the metamorphosis the entire world's trade, community, and banking structures and activity require. This system is for the good of humanity.
They will usher in a glorious new age of peace and prosperity.
Light workers, be available as a soothing, comforting port for those who will be jolted into a worldwide awakening. Dear ones, the light of your God surrounds you, each and every one. And now we move into a new world, a world of finer vibration and pulsations of light. The light workers are standing like beacons for the masses to see. They are holding the line. They are holding the energetic frequencies for the masses. They are working solidly to hold the energetic space so that change and evolution now begins to go more quickly towards the age of love, the golden age.
Hello everyone, it's November 12th, 2021, and I am extremely excited to bring you a message directly from Q himself. And I have been working for Q, and I want to say this to you. Q is a Galactic Federation of Light. He is in light. He's in 5D. That's what you guys all need to start learning. You need to learn about how we're ascending from 3D